Maya, guess what I want to talk about today?
What?
Money.
Oh, everyone's favorite topic.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm ready.
Do you save money every month?
Sometimes.
Only sometimes?
Life happens.
True, true.
What about you?
I try my best.
Try is the key word there.
You got me.
It's okay. Most people struggle with saving.
That's actually a really important point. Saving money is hard for almost everyone, no matter how much they earn.
Yeah, I've read that a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, even people with decent salaries. It's not always about how much you make.
So, what do you think it's really about then?
I think it's about habits. Small daily choices add up over time, whether they're good or bad.
That makes sense. Like buying coffee every single day without thinking about it?
Don't attack my coffee habit, Ryan.
I'm just giving an example. But seriously, $5 a day adds up to a lot in a year.
Wait, let me do the math. That's like $1,800 a year just on coffee.
See? That's a vacation right there.
Okay, that's a fair point. Maybe I should start making coffee at home more often.
Small changes like that really do help. It's not about giving up everything you enjoy, it's about being aware.
Speaking of awareness, do you actually track your spending?
I do, actually. I use an app on my phone that shows me exactly where my money goes each month.
That's smart. I've always wanted to try that, but I never stick with it for more than a week.
Same here at first. But once I saw the numbers, it kinda shocked me into staying consistent.
What shocked you the most?
Honestly, how much I spent on food delivery. It was almost as much as my rent one month.
No way, really?
I'm not proud of it, but yes. That's when I realized I needed a proper budget.
What does your budget look like now?
I follow something called the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings.
That sounds simple enough to follow. Needs would be things like rent and groceries, right?
Exactly. Wants are things like entertainment, eating out, or shopping. And savings includes paying off debt too.
Do you think that rule works for everyone?
Not perfectly, because everyone's situation is different. Someone in an expensive city might need to adjust the percentages.
That makes sense. The important thing is just having some kind of system, even if it's not exact.
Exactly. Having any plan is better than having no plan at all.
Let's talk about something else, saving versus investing. A lot of people confuse the two.
Good topic. What do you think the difference is?
Well, saving is putting money aside safely, like in a bank account. Investing is putting your money into something that can grow, but it comes with risk.
Right. And a lot of people are scared of investing because they think it's only for rich people or experts.
That's such a common myth. You don't need to be rich to start investing anymore.
What would you tell someone who's never invested before and feels nervous about it?
I'd say start small and start early. Even a little bit of money invested consistently can grow a lot over many years because of compound interest.
Can you explain compound interest simply? Some listeners might not know exactly what that means.
Sure, compound interest means you earn interest not just on your original money, but also on the interest you've already earned. It grows faster over time, like a snowball rolling downhill.
I love that snowball comparison. It really makes it click.
Thanks. I actually heard that comparison from my uncle when I was younger, and it stuck with me.
Does your family talk about money a lot?
Actually, yes. My parents always taught us to talk openly about finances, which I think is rare in many cultures.
That's true. In a lot of places, talking about money is considered rude or too personal.
I think that's actually a problem, though. If we don't talk about money, we don't learn how to manage it properly.
Totally agree. I didn't learn anything about personal finance in school. Did you?
Nothing at all. I learned algebra and history, but nobody taught me how to file taxes or build credit.
Same here. I had to learn everything from YouTube videos and books after I graduated.
What was the first money book that really changed how you think?
Honestly, it was a simple one about the difference between assets and liabilities. It completely changed my mindset.
Can you break that down for our listeners?
Sure, an asset is something that puts money into your pocket, like a rental property or stocks that pay dividends. A liability takes money out of your pocket, like a car loan or credit card debt.
So, a house you live in could actually be a liability, not an asset?
Exactly, because you're paying a mortgage, taxes, and maintenance, but it's not generating income for you.
That completely goes against what most people believe about buying a home.
It does, and that's why it made such an impact on me. It made me think differently about what wealth really means.
Let's shift a little. What's your opinion on credit cards? Are they good or bad?
I think they're neither good nor bad by themselves. It really depends on how you use them.
What's the biggest mistake people make with credit cards?
Spending money they don't actually have and only paying the minimum balance every month. That's how people end up in serious debt.
Credit card interest rates are really high, too, right?
Extremely high, sometimes over 20% a year. That's why unpaid balances can grow so fast.
So, what's the smart way to use a credit card then?
Pay off the full balance every single month and only spend what you would spend anyway, like groceries or bills. That way you build credit without paying interest.
That actually sounds manageable if you're disciplined about it.
Discipline is really the whole game when it comes to money, honestly.
What about debt in general? Is all debt bad?
Not necessarily. There's a difference between good debt and bad debt.
Can you explain that difference?
Good debt is something that can increase your future income or value, like a student loan for a useful degree or a business loan. Bad debt is borrowing money for things that lose value, like expensive gadgets or vacations you can't afford.
That's a helpful way to think about it. So it's not about avoiding debt completely, it's about being smart with it.
Exactly. The problem is a lot of people borrow money for things that don't improve their life long term.
Let's talk about something fun now. What's the best financial advice your parents ever gave you?
My dad always said, don't spend money to impress people you don't even like.
That's actually really wise advice.
Right? At the time, I thought it was just a random saying, but now I understand it completely.
What about you? What advice did your parents give you?
Wait, I asked you first.
Oh, right. My mom always say, pay yourself first.
What does that mean exactly?
It means before you pay any bills or spend on anything else, put some money into savings first, even if it's small. That way, saving becomes automatic, not something you do if there's money left.
That's really smart, because most people save whatever is left over, which usually ends up being nothing.
Exactly. If you wait until the end of the month to save, you'll almost never have anything left.
Do you think social media has made people spend more money?
Absolutely, 100%. Seeing other people's vacations, clothes, and lifestyles online makes people want to keep up, even if they can't afford it.
It's called lifestyle inflation, right? Where your spending grows every time your income grows?
Exactly. People get a raise and immediately upgrade their car or apartment instead of saving the extra money.
It's almost like no matter how much people earn, they always feel like they need more.
That's such a common trap. I think the key is deciding what enough actually means for you personally.
That's deep.
How do you personally define enough?
For me, it means having enough savings to feel safe, enough freedom to enjoy life a little, and not comparing myself to others.
I really like that definition. It's not about a specific number, it's about a feeling of security.
Let's talk about emergency funds. Do you have one?
Yes, I keep about 6 months of expenses saved in case something unexpected happens, like losing my job.
6 months? That's a lot for some people to save.
It took me years to build it up, honestly. I started with just 1 month's worth and slowly increased it over time.
Why do you think an emergency fund is so important?
Because without it, one unexpected expense, like a medical bill or car repair, can push someone straight into debt.
That makes total sense. It's like a safety net for life surprises.
Exactly. And once you have that safety net, you actually make better financial decisions because you're not making choices out of fear.
Interesting. Can you explain that a bit more?
When people don't have savings, they often make emotional or desperate decisions with money, like borrowing at high interest rates. But with a safety net, you can think clearly and plan ahead.
That's a really good point. Fear really does affect how people handle money.
Speaking of emotions, do you think money can actually buy happiness?
I think money can remove a lot of stress and unhappiness, but after a certain point, more money doesn't necessarily make you happier.
There was actually a study about that. Once people's basic needs and comfort are covered, extra income has a much smaller effect on happiness.
So, what do you think actually makes people happy then, if not just money?
I think it's more about freedom and choices. Having money gives you the freedom to choose how you spend your time, and that's what really matters.
That's beautifully said. Time really is the most valuable thing we have.
Let's talk about something practical now. What's one money mistake you made when you were younger?
Oh, where do I even start? I once bought a very expensive phone using a loan, just because my friends had the newest model.
How long did it take you to pay it off?
Almost a year. And by the time I finished paying, a newer model had already come out.
That's such a relatable story, honestly.
What about you? Any embarrassing money mistakes?
I once invested in something I didn't understand at all, just because a friend told me it was a guaranteed way to make money fast.
What happened?
I lost almost all of it within a few months. That was a painful but very valuable lesson.
What did you learn from that experience?
Never invest in something you don't understand, no matter how confident someone else sounds about it.
That's such important advice. There are so many scams and risky schemes that promise fast money.
If something promises guaranteed high returns with no risk, that's usually a huge red flag.
Exactly. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Let's end with something positive. What's one money goal you're working toward right now?
Honestly, I'm saving up to travel to a few countries I've always dreamed of visiting.
That's such a great goal. Are you setting aside a specific amount each month?
Yes, I have a separate savings account just for travel, and I add to it every payday, even if it's a small amount.
That's a great strategy. Having separate accounts for different goals really helps you stay organized.
What about you? What's your big money goal these days?
I'm focused on building enough investments so that one day my money works for me instead of me always working for money.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Financial freedom, basically.
Right. It's not about being lazy. It's about having choices and not being forced to work just to survive.
I love that mindset. It's less about being rich and more about being free.
Before we move on, let's talk about inflation for a second. Do you think people really understand what it means?
Honestly, I don't think so. A lot of people just know that prices go up, but they don't understand why it happens.
Inflation basically means that money loses value over time, so the same amount buys you less than it used to.
So, is that why keeping all your money in a regular savings account isn't always smart?
Exactly. If your savings account pays very little interest, but inflation is higher than that, your money is actually losing value, even while it just sits there.
Wow, I never really thought about it that way. It feels safe, but it's quietly losing power.
That's a great way to put it. That's part of why people invest, to try to grow their money faster than inflation.
Let's talk about side hustles too. Do you think everyone should have one?
I don't think it's required, but it definitely helps, especially these days when the cost of living keeps rising.
What kind of side hustles do you think work well for beginners?
Honestly, it depends on your skills. Some people freelance online, some sell things they make, and others just find small local jobs on weekends.
I actually started tutoring students online a few years ago, just a few hours a week, and it made a big difference.
That's great. Did that extra income go straight into savings?
Most of it, yes. I treated it as bonus money instead of spending it on my everyday lifestyle.
That's smart. A lot of people make extra money, but then just increase their spending to match it.
Let's talk about something a little different now. Negotiating salary. Are you comfortable negotiating?
Not really, if I'm being truthful. It always feels a little uncomfortable to ask for more money.
Same here, but I've learned it's actually expected in most places, especially when starting a new job.
Do you have any tips for someone who's nervous about it?
I'd say always research the average salary for that role first, so you know what's reasonable to ask for.
That's really useful advice. Going in with real numbers makes you sound confident instead of just guessing.
Do you think most people lose money over their career just by not negotiating?
Definitely. Even a small difference in starting salary can add up to a huge amount over many years, especially with raises building on top of it.
That's such an important point that people don't think about enough.
One more topic before we wrap up. Do you think schools should teach kids about money from a young age?
100% yes. I think basic money lessons should start as early as primary school.
What would you want kids to learn first?
Simple things, honestly. The difference between needs and wants. The idea of saving before spending. And how debt works.
I completely agree. If people understood these basics early, so many money problems later in life could be avoided.
Do you think parents play a bigger role than schools when it comes to money habits?
I think it's a mix of both, honestly. Kids learn a lot just by watching how their parents handle money at home.
That's so true. Even small things like seeing parents plan a budget together can shape how kids think about money later.
Before we wrap up, what's one simple tip you'd give our listeners today?
Start small, but start today. Even saving a tiny amount consistently builds a habit that grows over time.
I love that. And I'd add, don't compare your financial journey to anyone else's. Everyone starts from a different place.
That's such a great note to end on.
This was such a great conversation about money today.
Definitely one of my favorite topics we've covered so far.
If you learned something new today, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.
And share it with a friend who might need a little motivation with their money habits.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone.
See you in the next episode. Take care.